So this is the second video on this topic that I'm going to talk about right now. So if you haven't seen the first video, go back and take a look at that first video before you look at this one, okay? But just to rehash, in the last video I was talking about this video that has gone viral. And I put this video up to talk about the 5 Guyanas that once existed. It was for educational reasons. But some people decided they're going to come into the comment section and make this about the land dispute between Venezuela and Guyana and between Suriname and Guyana, this area right here. All right? I try to leave the subject alone. I don't want to get myself involved in all of that because that was not what the video that I created back here was really all about. But I keep looking around, and I think this video has gotten caught up in the Venezuelan ecosystem. So now a lot more Venezuelans are coming in, and they're in Spanish and English, and they're coming in, and ha, you're using the wrong map. That's not the right map. The Essequibo belongs to us. We're going to take it. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. That's the Venezuelans. Then I have my folks from Suriname, you know, love you guys and everything. Then they're coming in, and it's like, you got the wrong map up. Oh, that's the wrong map. That's the wrong map. This is the map. I just grabbed this map off the internet to do this video. I just grabbed it off the internet. I wasn't paying attention to, oh, that part over there belongs to Suriname. Oh, and all this over here belongs to Venezuela. I wasn't paying attention to all of that. This is the map of Guyana that the international community recognizes. Venezuela may not, Suriname may not, but everybody else in the world recognizes this as the country of Guyana. Okay? So I wasn't trying to make it an issue. That was not what the video was about. But you guys came for me in the comments section. I'm going to get to this, my folks in Suriname in a minute when it comes down to this area down here. I did say in the last video, yes, I believe the British screwed over Venezuela. I do believe it. Okay? It's a British Empire. Wherever England went, they just left disaster all over the place, right? They left people feuding with one another, whether it's in Palestine or whether it's in Iraq, the Middle East, wherever they went, they just caused all kind of problems, just leaving people fight with one another, right? That's the British. That's their legacy. That much I do know. So yes, Venezuelans, I do understand your argument, but there is a but. I pointed out that there was never really an established border between the Dutch, who were there, and the Spanish Empire. There was never really, out in this area out here, it's just nothing but jungle. There was nothing that the Spanish saw valuable out here. As a matter of fact, when they came down and basically claimed this area, they thought it was going to be full of gold. They thought this was El Dorado because some British guy went back over there running his mouth, talking about gold. They thought that this area was gold. And when they found out that there was nothing in there, they didn't find gold at that time. They decided to set their sights in bigger fish, Colombia, Venezuela, Peru. And that's where they found the gold. This area was like a backwater lake. Who's paying attention to that? The Spanish wasn't really paying much attention to this area. So the Dutch moved in and set up shop. The Spanish initially kind of were like, get out of here. But eventually they left the Dutch. So the Dutch just hung out in here, this whole area right here. You know, Suriname, or Dutch Guyana as it was called back then. They basically took over this whole area right here. Now, you would think that the Essequibo River, which runs down here, seems like a natural border. You will say, the Spanish will say, okay, you know what? All this way belongs to us, and all of this east of the Essequibo belongs to the Dutch. It looks like a natural border. But there was never an established border. I guess it was understood, but there was nothing in writing that says that Essequibo River right there marks the line. There was nothing hard and concrete. Maybe in Venezuela, they may have thought that when Venezuela became an independent nation, but it was nothing hardcore, right? At least for the international community to recognize. So when the British took over this area from the Dutch, there was never a western boundary between what was Dutch, and what was Spanish. And remember, the Spanish wasn't paying much attention to this. And when Venezuela took over, they also weren't paying much attention to it because it's like, you know, you think about Caracas is all the way over here somewhere, the capital of Venezuela. You go further out, there's like no man's land out here, basically. So the Venezuelans were not really paying attention to all this over here, right? But it was there. They pretty much figured it was their land, but they weren't really paying attention to it until gold was found. I shouldn't say until gold was found. When the British came in and established and said, we're going to take all of this right here, we're going to establish this is our border, the Venezuelans weren't too happy about it. They were like, yeah, you know what? No, I don't think so. That's not what's supposed to be there. But then when gold was discovered, then it was like, no, you guys really don't belong there. And a dispute came out of it, right? But eventually the international community or the court awarded all of this land here to the British, and this became known as British Guyana, including the red. But now, fast forward now the Venezuelans did make some noise over the years, but fast forward up to the present day, oil was discovered here. Now keep this in mind, and this is my problem with Venezuela. All of this, Venezuela has tons of oil out there. It has the largest oil reserves in the world. Has all of that right up there. Look at all of this land. 4 Guyanas can fit in this country right here. Guyana has 800 and something thousand people, if that much. Venezuela has 24 million people in all of this land with the largest oil reserves. This little piece of land over here called Guyana, Venezuela is coming in saying, we're not big enough. We want more. We want to take all of this back and leave you with that little sliver right there. Not to mention the Surinamese on the other side saying, we want to take that piece down there too, and leaving this little sliver here. So when I look at Venezuela, I just see greed at this point, and that's what annoys me. They may have a right to go ahead and say, yeah, the land actually belonged to us, and blah, blah, blah. But Guyana is looking at them and saying, you had that dispute with the British Empire, which is over there. They're no longer in existence. We are a new independent country. We didn't have an argument with you. What argument you have with us? We weren't in existence when you guys started this dispute. We're here now. We inherited that land from that empire, and this is what we have right now as our country. Venezuela is coming in, and the thing about it, it is so transparent as to the reason why. Just like it was over 100 years ago when it was about gold, now it's about oil. But what's bothering me is that Venezuela has all of this, the largest oil reserve in the world, and they want to come down to Guyana now and say, no, we want to grab this too. Oil is not benefiting Venezuela right now. Of course, the oil curse hit them, and it's not benefiting them. But yet they want to grab more of that curse. And it's not benefiting them right now. But what's happening is you have a leader there who's not exactly popular. He needs a distraction. He needs something to blame. He needs a scapegoat. He needs to do something to get the people to rally around him. That's what leaders look for. Can we find something to rally us around? Just like George Bush with the 9/11. Let's go bomb this place over here because they blew up the towers in New York City. So this leader in Venezuela, he's looking for something, a distraction. Because if the people had to focus on what's really going on in the country, he's not looking too good. So it's like, okay, I don't want everybody paying attention to my incompetence or the problems that's going on here in the country, and I'm the head of it. So you know what? Hey, focus on this little piece of land over here called Guyana. We want that land. Yeah, Guyana, we want that land. Hey, all you people, come on. Harp it up with me. We want that land from Guyana. That land belongs to us. Essequibo belongs to us. My thing is just leave Guyana alone. Guyana has come into its own. It was once one of the poorer countries in the Western Hemisphere. Venezuela at one point was one of the richest countries on this side of the world. Were they paying attention to Guyana at that time and whatever land? No, Venezuela was doing very well for itself. It had no time to focus on any land dispute. They were doing well. Everybody had money running. Venezuela, as a matter of fact, believe it or not, the United States, as a matter of fact, the World Bank at one point borrowed money from Venezuela. That's how well Venezuela was doing. But now Venezuela is down on its luck, and now they have a leader who doesn't know what in the world he needs to do. He figures, here's a nice distraction. Let me go pick a battle with Guyana across here. Let me go try to grab some land and make a whole bunch of noise and cause a distraction. That is my problem with Venezuela. So you Venezuelans who are watching this video right now, yeah, my wife is from Guyana. I do have a certain amount of bias. I understand your gripe. But I think in this case, you guys need to just back off and leave Guyana alone. Let Guyana have its moment in the sun. You on your side of the border, just take care of your business and get your country back together. Guyana is not your problem.